once again, we have a finely tuned plan. So I am going to winterize.
And she's our grand dogger.
Hey lady,
Yeah.
let's tell everybody what we're doing today.
Hey.
So today's the day we're going to go get a rental car in Atlanta, come back to this campsite, kind of get things ready, take this to storage tomorrow.
Yep.
And then we're have a hotel, and then we're out of here.
But the most important thing we're gonna do today is go to the Silver Skillet in Atlanta for breakfast, because the last time we were here, we went there because Guy from Diners, Drive-Ins and Dives said we should, and we do that. That was the best thing I ever tasted.
She's been talking about it since.
We're going to the Silver Skillet for breakfast. Come on.
All right.
Can you make that turn?
No. But I can do it in
3 turns?
2. I don't know, is that 3? It'll be a single backup.
This thing does not turn on a dime.
No, I bet you the Newmar
that tag
with the tag turning probably could make that corner, which is ridiculous. Yeah. But what would the challenge be in that? Our adventures wouldn't be near as intriguing.
No, but they'd be a lot less stressful.
This is a nice little campground.
It is. And it's not like I mind doing our Walmart stops or our rest stops. Especially, I don't want to.
There are 27 minutes of delay on your route. You are on the fastest route. At the end of the street, turn left.
No!
Shit.
Camera's on.
Shoot.
Shoot.
It's not because I don't want to pay for services we're not going to use. This is the Center for Puppetry Arts.
Look at that. I was wondering where that was.
That just sounds like a cool place to check out.
Yeah, it does.
Like, can I go in there? So when I was like 6, I was in Mexico and got Tia, my string puppet.
So is that in your trunk?
Probably. With all the strings tangled up.
Right.
How many times did my parents have to untangle those strings? They probably regretted purchasing that string puppet. Because I loved it, took it everywhere, walked it around. Got some street parking.
It was great street parking.
It was.
Like, it was one shot. We didn't even have to scope it out much.
No, it was good.
It was good.
So I'm very excited. We're going to go for our southern breakfast.
We're about a block away, so it's just around the corner.
Let's go. Come on. We found the Silver Skillet.
Again.
This is our second time. You got to come back when stuff is this good.
Well, once again, we have a finely tuned plan. We're in Atlanta at the airport trying to pick up a car. Beaver's in bus parking there. Denise's cell phone doesn't work for some reason. She went to get a car, and I know she's going to be going along this road here. So I'm going to wait here till I see her. Hopefully she can pull off to the side. I can pull out up there, and we're gone. We'll see how this well-oiled plan actually goes. Is that her? Yeah, no. Apparently she found her way to bus parking. think you have to get permission from him to hook your water up.
Okay, dude, we're gonna hook up. Well, I need to do laundry.
Well, tell him. Do you mind if we do laundry, buddy?
Oh, hi, dude. Jump on out of there.
Oh, there he goes.
There he goes.
Today's the day the Beaver goes into storage. We did get it washed yesterday, cleaned up, did all around all the doors, just trying to dry those out today. It kind of sprinkles now and then. Want to make sure the awnings are dry. The only thing we're going to do different this time that we haven't done since we left home, I'm not 100% sure it's not going to freeze, so I am going to winterize. I'm just going to flood everything with RV antifreeze because I'm flooding the Aqua Hot, which is kind of, it's not tankless, but it doesn't have a huge tank. It's more of a boiler type system. I do need to use the one with the anti-corrosion, so it's a little bit more expensive, but it's cheap insurance that we're not going to have any problems. So I'm doing that. I'm just flushing out the black tanks right now, or black tank, and Denise is cleaning up inside. Probably the winterizing I will do at the storage unit because we need to be out of here in the next 10 minutes, half an hour. So yeah, we'll catch up there. So to winterize this, I'm going to pull this cover off. The pump is in behind there. Okay, so I've removed this cover. This is the suction to the pump, so I'm going to disconnect that. And then I've got a hose that I just keep in here. And I'll hook that to the suction side of the pump. This end will go into the antifreeze, and then we just run everything and flood everything, and we're good to go. It's that easy. So when I disconnected this inlet, there was some water came out, so it's handy. You should have a dish of some kind to do that because there's probably going to be a little bit come out. But now that's done, I'll connect my hose to this guy. I think some RVs are set up just with a valving system, probably with an end of a hose like that already. But this is pretty simple. And then we just stick an end in here.
What is this stuff?
It is RV antifreeze. And it does have corrosion resistance in it, so it is for metal piping because our heating system does have metal tubes in it, so it's important that you use the right stuff. The other alternative is to blow this out. But sometimes, I did that on the houseboat a few times, and I actually had some trouble with the heating system because it didn't blow all of the water out. There was a low spot, and it broke a piece of it. So just to be sure, since then I just flood them. It's easy. All right. So when doing this, I've already drained the tanks, so I don't want to fill them with the water that's in the system as I flush it out with this. So I'll just, especially the hot, because it uses quite a bit more solution, I will turn that on, turn the water pump on, and run it into a bucket and dump this because it'll just be fresh water once it's done and that's not in my tank. So I'm just flushing out the hot water system. You can see the level of the jug going down, so it is going through the system. And it'll probably take all of that and maybe part of another one to get the hot water purged out. And then it'll be less solution after that to do the rest of the taps. The first one's always the longest. Starting to bubble up, so that might mean there's some solution coming through. I think there is actually. Yeah, I can smell it. So that should mean that the hot water tank is cycled through, and it actually didn't use as much as I thought. And we'll know that for sure because we'll hit all the other hot water taps, and they shouldn't run as long as this one because the tank, it did have to go through the tank to get to here. So It is important in each tap or set of taps that you do the hot and then the cold. Do them both. I like to do the hot first and then the cold. So there'll be a little bit in this tube that was there from doing the hot, so you got to let it run for a little bit. Okay. And it is important to do the outside taps and outside systems as well. Sometimes that gets forgotten, and then you come back and you got a busted hose or fixture.
Is that stuff?
It's non-toxic, so it's, yeah, it shouldn't be an issue. So this is what I used. It is, like I said, good for metal pipes. It lubricates and seals. I did buy this in Canada because I wasn't sure what there would be down here for RV antifreeze, so I brought this from there. It doesn't say anything about it being toxic to pets, but I would, you know, take precautions to not get it on the ground. It's probably fine, but I'm not 100% certain of that, so I won't be dumping it on the ground. So I will start with the taps that are furthest away from the pump inside, and it's important that you run hot. And I run it into, you're supposed to put some down the drains as well, but this actually does that for you. Once you see red, you run it for a little bit. This is the hot still, and it'll fill that P-trap with enough antifreeze that it won't freeze. So that's the hot, and then I'll do the cold in this side. And again, this isn't going to get to minus 40 here. We're in Atlanta, or close to Atlanta, so cold. So see how that went clear, and now it's red again. So that means we've got solution in there, in both the hot and the cold. And it's handy to have a sprayer thing so it doesn't get as everywhere. Okay, so that's that one. Bathrooms, same thing, toilet. So here, get hot, cold. I'll let that run a little bit so that it fills that P-trap.
Okay, wait a minute. Is this not filling up the tanks too?
There will be some liquid in the tanks. Most of it was taken outside. And that's okay. There'll be enough RV antifreeze in there that they won't freeze.
Okay.
Especially here. I would worry about if we were in Fort Nelson. I wouldn't want any water in the tanks. But here, it's probably not going to get that cold. I'll do the toilet. Same thing. Might take a few flushes. It's already red. I'll let it, go one more time just to get, in case there was a bit of water in the tank, so there's a little bit of RV antifreeze in there too. And then that'll be good. And then of course, because it's sucked through your pump, all of that is protected as well. Hot. See, as we go through the taps, it comes quicker. It's just because everything in the system has already been purged. Cold. A little bit for the P-traps. That should be good. The last thing left is the shower. And we did not use the fridge. That was turned off, and it was blown out years ago, and I haven't used it since. So I shouldn't need to worry about purging the fridge. That's one thing. You would probably want to purge that with air versus antifreeze, just because it is drinking water. You'd have to really flush it. I mean, it would be okay, but you'd have to really flush it out afterwards. And I'm not sure how that affects the ice maker, but I know that was blown out with air, and the valve hasn't been turned on since, so it should be fine. Just try not to get the shower all covered in this stuff, or myself, so it's a little slower. But I see there's some red there now, so I'm going to go to cold. And I see red again. I'll let it run for a few seconds to fill that trap, and then I think we're good. And it sounds like our jug is out.
Oh, it does.
So that pretty much wraps it up. That's about 15 minutes total. I didn't use as much fluid as I thought I would use. I've got 4 of those jugs. I used most of 2 of them, and we can use that next year. I'll also put the pump back together, the inlet on the pump back together, so that when we come back, we should just be good to go.
What do we do when we come back now? Just fill up with water and then
fill up with water and flush it. There is some low point drains on for hot and cold on this unit too. I just want to open and then close those just in case there's still some water left in there. I'll just drain it into the bucket. There was some clear water. If I didn't do that and that froze really hard, these not necessarily the valve, but the connection at the bottom might freeze. And that is it. I'll put the pump back together. It's always important too when you come back to flush your entire system before you start using it for showers and whatnot, and that includes the outdoor stuff as well, just to get all of it out of the complete system. Otherwise you might get a little bit of residual. So just remember to do that when we come back. In order to get this the motorhome into the unit as far as possible, we're going to remove the bikes and we can lock them up either beside or tuck them somewhere. And it just gives us, then we can fold this bike rack up and move it back further. So just take the bikes off. This is actually a super easy bike rack to use. We've had it for since 2011, so 8 years. It's been, I don't think it's driven maybe a few miles with the motorhome without the bike rack on. So it's been about close to 50,000 miles behind the motorhome, and then we use it sometimes with the Jeep too when we were at home. But super easy to use. Like in a minute we can have both bikes on secure, and I've never worried about the bikes coming loose or falling off or anything like that. They've stayed put. We've never had any issues. So you might want to check this one out too. We'll put a link in the description for it. And then to fold it up is just a quick fold up, and then it's out of the way. This actually, you can get an extension for another 2 bikes for this same rack. I don't know what that would be like. It would stick out about that much further. But I know if you can put an extension on this for 2 bikes, you're not going to overload it, for sure. It's just super solid.
And I drive behind you all the time, and it doesn't wiggle.
Never moves. Yeah. And even the pin that goes through is a bolt, so it tightens up and it pulls everything tight together. So if you're going down a road, it doesn't shake around in the receiver. Everything just stays tight. This one does have the integrated locks as well for locking your bikes. Something to look for.
Bye, my Beaver.
Till next time. Stay safe.
Next, we headed out of Atlanta into Vancouver, where we met up with Courtney for our very first grandparenting assignment. It was a big deal for us all. She did great. She went through security.
Yeah, she's totally calm, like
Yes.
totally chill.
I think Allie's got a fan.
Yeah, I think she's got a few fans.
So this is our first time flying with a pet. Not our pet, she's our grand dogger. She's Courtney's dog. And she's only 6 months old, and she's the cutest bean of a pup. She's a long-haired miniature dachshund. She is a gem. She has been so good. So she does have to be under 22 pounds. She's in the appropriate carrier, and she rides under the seat in front of us at our feet. She has to be pulled out to go through security, which we did. She was a little nervous when people are coming at us and stuff, but other than that, like, she has been a gem. Not medicated, nothing. She's just wonderful.
I think if we can get through takeoff, I think everything will be perfect. It's only a 40-minute flight, which is perfect for a first-time flight.
Yeah. slept either, but she's certainly quite comfortable and happy, so let's go for touch now. What's going on our bed?
I don't know. Some kind of little flip out thing.
What is that? Are you
Are
supposed to be up there?
Behavior. We're gonna do this now.
Ellie, are you having a drink? Is this what grandparenting is?
Do you want a drink? Okay, you get down now. This is unsafe.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
At least you're sitting.
That's
It's
much
just confirmed
safer.
in my heart that
Have a drink.
right thing to do.